Hi, today is June 18th, 2020, and on this day, 150 years ago, the journey was begun to create the Atlantic Baptist Women as it is known today. And I've been thinking a lot about traveling, and since we can't do it right now, and I've been thinking about this amazing organization of these incredible women of 150 years. And I wondered if there was a way we could maybe travel together through time over the summer. Because you see, 150 years ago today, on June 18th, Hannah Maria Norris met with the women at the Canso Baptist Church. Now I'm going to see if this will work. Nope, that didn't do it. How do I change? There we go. See if I can show you a picture of the church today. The pastors there at the Canso Baptist Church, David and Betty Wheeler, went to the church yesterday and got me some photos because, well, I'm not allowed to go down there right now since I'm in New Brunswick. But the Canso United Baptist Church, 150 years ago, was the very first place that the women gathered to meet. So here's the inside of the church. And can you imagine that we were sitting here and these women were gathered together and they weren't exactly sure why they had been asked to get together. And then a lovely young woman, Hannah Maria Norris, she got up and she told them her story. I'll let you have a little look at that. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Hannah Maria Norris and her story. You see, she felt called to go to Burma. Burma is currently Myanmar, if you were looking at it today. So a long, long way from Canso, Nova Scotia. And Maria, as she liked to be called, was a single young woman. And she felt called to go and teach and love and care for people in Burma and to show them God's love. And yet, because she was single and female from Nova Scotia 150 years ago, they told her there was no funding to support her. And you'd think that would stop her, but it did not. And she went to a gentleman. Now, I actually have her own words in here because her journals and letters exist and are carried in our archives at Acadia University. And she also wrote up about this first summer 10 years after the fact. And she said that now wait, I lost the right page. Of course, that's the one that fell on the floor. And that's what I get for trying to do this live. All right. So Maria asked a gentleman if he would advance the money that she needed to be able to go to Burma. And her friends would give him promissory notes to refund him within 3 years, that they would pay it back. And the gentleman agreed, which is great. She was going to get to go. And so Mariah's quoted as saying, "It was overwhelming proof to me that the Lord was indeed calling me to go. And it was near our Christmas vacation, and I sent in my resignation with my reasons for doing so and went home to prepare for my journey. She was teaching at the seminary in Wolfville at the time, so at Acadia. Now, unfortunately, after she had already put all those things in place and gotten herself ready to go, the gentleman informed Maria that he had changed his mind. And he wasn't going to give her the money anymore because he thought he would be blamed for helping her in a wild adventure. Maria thanked him, which I think is unbelievable. And I love this. Later, 10 years later, she said that I felt sure that the Lord had used him to get me all ready to go, and he wished to provide the means for me to go in some other way. I think the result proved that this gentleman was divinely guided in both instances, which I think is absolutely amazing, because that means that she could see God's hand even in someone who said no to her and not be angry and bitter. But she still had no way to get there. So she appealed to the mission board, which was all men, one more time. And they said, we can't do it. If you really think you're supposed to go, appeal to the sisters. And I'm not sure that they actually thought it would make a difference or that she would do it. She says, appeal to the sisters. Appeal to the sisters. I wonder if the men had any expectations at all when they made that suggestion. However, our God, our great and creative God, had something great to set in motion with that suggestion, no matter how genuine the proposal. And so what she did was she started to meet with women. And the first group of women she met with was on June 18th, 1870, at the Canso Baptist Church in Canso, Nova Scotia. And she met with those women, and she told them her story and her passion and devotion to following God's call, and asked for their help. And they formed a circle. We would now call them women's missionary societies. And then she set out on a journey. She went on tour, as it were, and as a theater person, I love the idea of going on tour. I spent 2 years on tour. And since we can't literally go on tour right now, I thought we could virtually go on tour and follow Hannah Maria Norris in her journey to visit all these different churches, to meet with all these different women in all these different towns and villages around the Maritimes, and tell them her story and invite them to join and create these circles that would lead to what we have today as the Atlantic Baptist Women. So today is the first day. And so over the summer, we're going to have a variety of posts and videos, some live, some will be edited and put up ahead of time. We're going to try to virtually get footage from each of the areas that she went to so that we can travel together with Maria and learn more about us as the Atlantic Baptist Women today, but also how we started and how we got to where we are, and all of the amazing things that happened over the last 150 years as we look forward to the next 150 and wait to see what God has in store for us. And in Maria's journal, it says, I left home June 23rd and returned August 29th. I met 41 appointments with different churches, organized 32 societies or circles, visited 7 Sabbath schools, that would be Sunday schools, attended Central and Eastern associations and convention. So we're going to follow her journey. The next place she arrived is on July the 5th. So this is here we go, let's get it started. And I'll ask for your help. If you have any information, we'll hopefully get a map up so we can post all of the places along the way. And One of the things that I was asked to do about 12 years ago was to look into Hannah Maria's story and to bring it to life on the stage for the women's conference in May that year. And we found the video of that live performance, and we have uploaded it to YouTube, and I will be putting the link here so that you can have a look if you'd like to see my attempt to bring Hannah Maria Norris to life and to tell her story with as many of her own words as possible. Just remember that the video quality is from 12 years ago, and know that we are glad that things are even better today, that we can do things like this, and we're very excited. And just before I go, I thought I would show you one last picture that was sent from the Canso church that the pastors there found for us. Inside the church, even though that church does not have a current women's group, they still have her photo, and they still have this memorial plaque to remind everyone of what began in their church 150 years ago. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty exciting. So I am looking forward to traveling to all of these churches. We'll post the list of the churches and the dates so you can see where we're going to be. And if you have any photos or information about any of those places, I would love to have them so that we can post them on here and we can get some things going, because we're going to go on tour with Mariah and Mariah and me, I guess, and see what we do. So I will see you again for this as we follow Mariah on July the 5th as we head to Amherst, Nova Scotia, which is very exciting. And we'll find out what happened there and what has been happening there since then. So blessings, happy Throwback Thursday, happy celebrating 150 years of Atlantic Baptist Women and the very, very first meeting that got it all started. Those amazing women that listened to Mariah tell her story and her passion and decided to join in and become part of something greater than they could imagine on their own.